Text Prison Story Family salute, y'all. Much love. Appreciate everybody tapping in. We're going to talk about something serious tonight, something that we really haven't talked a lot about, and some things that happen. We're going to talk about the dungeon inside of the prison. Where do you go when you get in trouble inside a prison? You're already there. Can they lock you up again? Can they make it any worse? Of course they can. You already know. So we're going to get into it a little bit. And if anybody remembers, excuse me a second. If anybody remembers, I did a video recently about the inmate that hit the guard with the dart. He literally, he literally made a gun, dart gun, shot the officer, and then they came in and beat the man almost to death. If you remember, Artie, salute everybody. I'm going to get to the comments. I'm not trying to be rude, but let me get on with this real quick. If y'all remember what I said, it was Coffield unit. The inmate made the dart, made the blowgun, and literally shot the officer. Okay. After that happened, they came back in to get the dart gun away from him, transfer him cells, and over 13 officers actually had to quit because they were about to get fired. I don't know if any charges has went on, but where we're talking about is called the alternative living unit. It's literally the basement, the dungeon. It's a 12-man cell block. Everybody on the cell block is in there for either attempted escape or they're in there for attacking guards, attempted murder on guards. So what this place is, this is the dungeon, the hole. This is where you're going to technically supposed to do 23 and 1, but in all reality, you're going to be back there 24 hours a day until a cool cop comes, and then maybe he'll give you a shower. Maybe he won't. This is the place they use in a prison to punish you, where when they serve you your food, no matter what, it's going to be cold. They might wait all day and give you 3 meals at once. They're going to figure out ways to make your life miserable back here because you're back there for either escaping or trying to hurt a guard. So you already know what it is. Prison has punitive measures, okay? This story, I'm going to start a little bit with what happened with the dart, because this is my first time getting a real personal account, okay? I want you to realize that these prison guards, not all of them are bad. They're not all murderers, evil people, none of that. Some of them are just folks actually wanting to do their job and go home, okay? They get trapped up in a system. It's called doing what they got to do. So they literally do what they have to do. I don't know how else to put it. You know what I mean? And if you're watching this tonight, we're live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook, and we're live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We're live everywhere tonight, y'all, about 8 locations. So wherever you're watching, if I'm not seeing your comments, you probably need to come to YouTube, all right? So anyway, check this out. Tim Nixon knew something was bad about to happen. It was 9:15 on September 5th, and he had just been rousted from his cell by 3 guards whose names he did not know and whose name tags were obscured by full riot gear. The barking orders, the stiff, palpable tension, and the time of night told Nixon he needed to do as he's told and keep quiet. Nixon said they placed him in a holding cell about 40 to 50 feet down the hall, directly across from another cell, cell number 1. Then guards joined a half dozen others and lined up outside cell number 1. Call it intuition, call it whatever you want. You can tell that somebody's fixing to get their ass whooped. The Alternative Living Unit, or ALU, where Nixon currently lived at Coffield Unit, holds 12 men, often convicted of violence in solitary confinement, who have a high risk of escape or who have assaulted guards in the past. It's the worst of the worst. I'm literally 20 feet away in this holding cell, and I can see Grant in his cell, he recalled. And he was the only inmate who could see in the cell. What Nixon had not seen was that an hour before, Grant assaulted the officer with the dart. A feud between Grant and a new sergeant boiled over, according to inmates. Grant, who was in prison for murder, already had issues with authority and wasn't opposed to lashing out. He reportedly attacked a witness at his own trial in front of the jury. So this man, Grant, he's the one that shot the dart. He's literally, I told y'all before, a lot of these guys are mental patients. Some of them have extreme violence problems. They're antisocial, sociopathic disorders, bipolar. A lot of them are paranoid, schizophrenic. This man that's in prison, he didn't care from day one. Look at that. Attack people in his own court. But from my experience with him, he's never been a violent person just because he can. You have to push him, and the thing is, it doesn't take much push. I bet it don't. And Laird says Sergeant Gabriel Quay had been pushing. Quay couldn't be reached for comment, but he had recently been promoted and moved to the ALU. Inmates like Laird said Quay kept making mistakes like bringing men food that they were allergic to and refusing to correct it. He antagonized inmates who, like Laird, are often murder convicts. So he really didn't know what to do. We were trying to tell him, look, this is how you run things, but we're inmates and you can't tell them nothing. Then he got shot in the neck with a spear right then and there. Laird admits he didn't see this happen, but he and other inmates were told Grant had fashioned some sort of gun and shot some sort of arrow at Quay. Laird did not see the blood. Listen to this. The officer was briefly hospitalized. This is why Nixon, himself a recent transfer from another unit, had been moved. His cell, number 12, had plexiglass over the holes. So they wanted to move the shooter into his cell, okay? He had already shot the dart. Now it's time for them to Homie Hangout. Salute, my brother. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Homie Hangout. Now it's his turn to get moved, right? So when they move him, realize they have to come in there first and secure the weapon. He just shot this prison guard with a dart, okay? That's not necessarily attempted murder, but that's definitely aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Multiple inmates said 45 minutes later, an extraction team of about 9 guards, larger than the standard 5, with pads and masks, showed up with an additional supervisor and an officer filming the extraction. The guards handcuffed Grant behind his back through the door, which in this unit is 2 pairs of cuffs, a black box, and a chain wrapped around your waist. Guards then told Grant to get on his knees. At this point, inmates expected retaliation by the guards. They're going to get theirs in, said Laird. But I mean, this is prison. What did you expect? They open the door and run in and proceed to beat the crap out of this guy. Beat the living crap out of this guy. Nixon recalled guards holding Grant's limbs while 3 began beating him. They used their fists. 1 used his shin guard. Then he saw something he had never seen before in 3 decades in prison. A guard removed his helmet and started beating him with it. It's just missing the ceiling by inches, Nixon recalled. He's raising it 8.5, almost 9 feet up, and slamming it down on his head multiple times. Grant was passed out, but according to Nixon, they kept hitting him. This guy was just completely unresponsive. I mean, he's out cold now, and they're just continuing to beat him. Laird, whose cell was next door, said he heard a loud, meaty thump, a sound he described as somewhere between a bat hitting the side of a beef and a tree. I've seen a lot of use of force incidents. I've even been involved in a few. But that was the most brutal sounding thing I've ever heard in my life. So as we know, that inmate there was hospitalized and I believe left into a coma for 3 months, I think. Salute to his family because they actually left a comment on this video or the past video I did when he woke up. And that was a miracle. They literally thought he was going to die. What is the miracle is literally that he didn't die. I mean, they were trying to kill this man. But you have to understand violence begets violence inside of a prison. Once you try to stab an officer, you try to attack them, you try to kill them, they no longer respond with paperwork, especially when you're in the alternative living unit. That is the worst they can do to you. And you're still acting out. So you, as he said in this article, just have to understand that your life is going to be in jeopardy. We've talked about it all the time that they use cell extractions for punishments. They use them for penalties. You know, shout out to Officer Jovian Motley, the officer that died recently. His family's still looking for answers. He died in an attempt to secure an inmate that didn't do anything except stick his arm through the tray slot. All right. He took possession of the tray slot. What he did was show a tad bit of defiance and show that he didn't care who was in charge that day. And they had to correct that because at all times, we just said violence brings on violence. You have to use violence to control violence, right or wrong. This isn't even up for debate what happens in these prisons. We're just explaining to you what happens, right? So this story here, that was all a preface for what I'm getting ready to talk about, y'all. This is crazy. And y'all do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, please. If you're watching on YouTube, man, I appreciate it. If you're not watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, IG, Twitch, Twitter, any of those, I can't see your comments. I apologize. But this story here continues on into the alternative living unit, right? Zadal, salute, baby boy, much love, man. AF 1500, salute to Beaumont. So the alternative living unit we just talked about, it's a 12-man cell block, okay? And there are levels to this prison stuff. Everybody does not do the same time. I said that on my very first video ever. You got a lot of men that come home and they'll beat on their chest and swear it was easy, and they just stayed at a transfer unit. You got guys that might have went to an ID unit, but they was on the trustee camp, and they won't tell you that part when they come home. You know what I mean? So everybody does different time. If you're on a max ID unit with some aggravated time, you're in them gang pods, you're there where it's going down, your life will be totally different than somebody doing a non-egg time somewhere friendly. It's just the real facts. Every man there wishes he went somewhere laid back, cool, and calm, but everybody doesn't get to. That just is what it is, you know what I mean? But we talk about it all the time, that prison guards are not there to protect you. If you listen to the video I have about Coco, the man that got raped repeatedly, and how bad he got humiliated and over again begged the cops for protection. There was just a grandmother that hit me the other day, y'all. We actually talked about it in the live that I did with my homeboy Blue, right? This guy owed a bunch of money. He hit grandma up for it. Grandma sent the money. I told her to go ahead and send it and tell her to be the last time ever. Something happened. I don't know if he didn't pay his debt with the money or what, but he said he was going to stay. And the next thing I know, Granny's telling me that he's going to check in. Check in means you're going to tell him you need help, life in danger, right? Well, when you're telling these guards you need help, there might be a trustee listening somewhere, or the guard himself, warden themselves, anybody will tell on you before you get to go. So if I got it understood correct, man is trying to file life endangerment. Warden tells him go back to the cell block, man up. They shoot him back to work. No, hold on. Warden tells him go back to the cell block, man up. He fights 3 people. They jump him immediately because they find out what he's doing. Just gets it in, and then they call work call. He goes to work. Excuse me, my mouth is dry as hell. Goes to work call. When he goes to work call, he's got an inmate pulling out a blade on him all day, telling him he knows what it is when they get back, right? This is the type of stuff that you deal with when we tell you that they're not here to help you. They're only here to count you, and they'll actually sabotage you at the same time. This story is crazy. Look. Yeah, this one is wild. I ain't going to lie. So, as we talk about the ALU being the worst of the worst, a place that most people have never seen before, I actually had an old article where one of the first times they ever instituted this policy in prison, it was one of the TS guys, I think Mexican Mafia, AB, and some other various inmates. But it's where you don't want to go. Like I said, you think it's bad short of staff on the general population. Imagine how they do you there. You never see wreck, rarely shower. This incident happened, though, in the shower. So I want y'all to check this out. This is about a man named Quentin Cox and another man named Servando Dominguez, okay? This is going to trip you out. Quentin Cox is so dangerous that he isn't allowed to be interviewed by journalists in person. The Texas prison, where he has lived for years, will refuse to move the convicted murderer to still visiting cages. He has assaulted so many guards and inmates, it doesn't want to risk moving him from the maximum security wing where he resides. Let me repeat that. He has assaulted so many guards and inmates, they don't even want to take him off the cell block for visits. It was a mystery then how Cox could exit his cell late last year without obstruction and assault another prisoner. How can one of the most violent men living in the most secure section of Coffield Prison, emerged and attacked an unsuspecting and shackled inmate being escorted back to a cell from a shower. The resulting melee left an inmate bleeding profusely, ended a sergeant's career, and fueled speculation and rumor of an organized plot throughout the prison. That's the amazing part right there. Listen, the resulting melee left an inmate bleeding profusely and ended a sergeant's career and fueled speculation of an organized plot throughout the prison. Got to give it to CDC. Recently, they are firing some of these people when they catch them. But we've said it at all times that they fear the most media attention and transparency. So when I do videos like this, man, if you want to help the system be better, share these videos out for me. Put them on your social media, share them out on your Facebook, send them to your friends in Messenger, whatever, okay? Well, here's what happened. The assault was in the afternoon as Dominguez was being placed back in his cell after time in the day room and then a shower. He was nearly locked back in when Cox quietly opened his cell door and advanced on the man, pushing a guard out of the way. Cox had a weapon in his hand, which was a shaving razor that he removed the plastic guard on, said Jeremiah Stevenson, an inmate who witnessed the attacks. Cox sliced Dominguez across the face. Dominguez, himself a convicted SO, said he was stabbed repeatedly in the face and neck 9 times. I was covered in blood, wrote Dominguez in an email on December 22nd, 2023, 2 days after the attack. His whole face was bloody. He had a 3-inch gash cut from top of his head, 3-inch gash on the side of his head by his ear and down his neck. So he ran in on him while he's handcuffed, while he's black boxed. See, this is how it works. When you get in to your cell, they open the door. You're still handcuffed. You're still shackled. Your hands are in front right here, handcuffed. And they have a black box around that with a master lock because handcuff keys are extremely easy to make. That master lock key, an inmate ain't making one for that. So they put the black box on you because of things like when Silverstein and other guys have slipped their cuffs and killed guards. You can't do it on that. Same way that the feds transport you, okay? So this man Cox, one of the most dangerous inmates in the entire state of Texas, already attacked multiple guards, multiple inmates. He's in the ALU, the dungeon, has now came out of his cell and attacked a sex offender that's handcuffed. And the way this works for him is you have to come inside of your cell. You have to put your hands, well, no, I'm sorry. So that's the other one. You get in your cell. You have to get on your knees. Put your hands up through the food tray slot. They unlock you from the outside and then slam the thing. You're never, ever free to move around and unsecured outside of your cell. And they're using double handcuffs on these guys. So imagine yourself double handcuffed, black box with a chain around your waist so you can't even raise up your arms. And here comes a psycho killer from down the run with a razor blade. The hell you gonna do? These cops can't stand you. You already in there for attacking them. You're a convicted SO. Like, what do you do? You just get cut. You're just a victim. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get a little bit more into this. The official description for Cox's assault on Dominguez was brief, okay? This is the crazy part, y'all. Stay tuned for this. This is what I want you to hear. So that's what happened. But now listen to this. This is official responses, right? On December 20th, 2023, staff responded to inmate on inmate assault at the Coffield unit in Tennessee Colony, Texas. The inmate assailant was quickly restrained and the incident concluded. The inmate assaulted received minor injuries and was treated by on-site medical personnel. The Office of Inspector General, which is called the OIG, which is basically like supposed to be the people that police the police. What's up, Gary? I see you on the TPS name. So they are the, what do you call it? Internal Affairs. That's what I'm thinking, right? The Office of OIG confirmed that it was notified, but it ultimately did not investigate the crime as they did not deem it serious enough. Sergeant Damon Cruz was fired when he admitted to accidentally leaving Cox's door unlocked. Okay. So here's the crazy part. The OIG is the prison police force, detectives, internal affairs, and all that type stuff, right? This man escaped out of his cell and attempted murder on this guy, but they said it wasn't that serious. But Sergeant Damon Cruz was fired when he admitted to actually leaving Cox's cell door unlocked. And the problems and the rumors come from allegedly he left it unlocked on purpose, right? And I have to say allegedly, but he's already been terminated for it. What I don't know is why did he leave it unlocked? Did he have a prison beef? What's going on? Check it out. The assault took place in an alternative living unit in Coffield. The wing holds as many as 12 men in single cells for 22 hours a day and are only moved if cuffed twice with special anti-removal boxes. Inmates' recounting of the assault on Dominguez was slightly different. While they agreed the fracas was short, it ended when Cox was released from a headlocking guard and voluntarily walked back to his cell. They questioned why Cox was not chemically subdued with mace, why he was not punished, and how his cell could have been opened to begin with. So that's the crucial part right there. The man says he accidentally left the cell unlocked. After this guy comes, cuts this man, literally tries to kill him, somewhere still has a weapon, they let him walk back to his cell peacefully. Never heard of that before. Because, in my personal opinion, had he done that without the blessing and the permission of the officers there, he would have been the next one for the SOAR team to run in on, because he's now overruling their authority again. You understand? That's just from an inmate perspective. I can't see anything else happening. Hey, no, you wasn't trying to kill a cop, but you can't be doing that, man, back here making us look bad. So listen to this. According to Stevenson and Dominguez, Cox was intentionally allowed to leave his cell by Sergeant Cruz in order to attack another inmate who the sergeant did not like. The door was actually open and unlocked for 6 hours undetected. That's all I can really say concerning that. So, in the most high security part of one of the most high security, dangerous prisons in the state of Texas, his cell door was unlocked for 6 hours. I've never been inside of one of the control units, but if I remember right, every single door has a little light, and the light will come on red or green, showing if it's locked, unlocked, whatever. So something like that. If you worked inside a Texas prison, explain to me in these comments, please, how in the hell can a door on a 12-man cell block stay open for 6 hours and nobody know? Okay, here's the crazy part, right? According to Cox, the fight was simply the result of two inmates not liking each other who live in a high-stress environment. But he was also cryptic and coy about the relationship of Cruz to the assault. Understand, it's just some things I can't delve into on this one. You can read between the lines, though. The rumor that has spread throughout the prison since the attack is that for some reason Cruz wanted the inmate assaulted. None of the inmates who described the scenario were able to say how they knew this information. They also say Cruz had been arrested, but that was not true. Cruz was terminated, though. So, here's the last thing. Look, Cox had been making threats against guards for months since his friend Kaheem Grant was wheeled away. So Cox was friends with the guy that actually got beat. You know what I'm saying? And all this just to say that them people ain't in there to help you, man. Even the good officers, they'll do small things for you, like maybe walk this down there for you, give somebody something, let you out in the hallway or something. But in our reality, these people just there to get their check, man. You piss them off bad enough, you do something to them, they're going to do the same thing any human being would do. You know, hey, you shoot me. How about this? I drive dump trucks. If you shoot one of my fellow dump truck drivers, we're probably all going to do something to you. If we're on the clock, we barely like each other. So imagine prison guards that work together, fellowship every day at work, camaraderie ship, you're in trouble. But there's just inmates out here that are bad enough they don't give a damn. Not bad enough, but crazy enough. Mad Max, salute, man. Let me get in these comments. JoJo, Zadar, what's up, my brother? Homie Hangout, man. Again, make sure y'all subscribe to the Homie Hangout. I just talked to him on the phone before I got in this live. Let me see something real quick. What the hell is my phone? Anyway, man, I wish I could see the comments on IG, man. I hope everybody's doing okay. I just seen a post from a woman whose son just hit Beto unit for intake. And let me tell you something. I didn't quite realize, me and Zay was talking about it, how different that Beto is, right? It's mostly let me see, I work for TDCJ. Yeah, that's what I thought, exactly. And anyway, so the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah. Homie Hangout, that's cool. It don't matter. I don't mess with IG. That's one thing that I cannot stand. I do not like Instagram. And the reason I don't like Instagram is because just people have too much access to you. People that you don't want to respond back to or talk to, or they bomb you, blow you up, and it gets kind of weird. My God sees you. Salute, J Bar, CJ. Appreciate everybody tapping in, man. I'm not gonna stay too long. But I was saying Beto. So anyway, this lady, this was sad, right? Where the lady was saying her son just got sent to Beto and he's in intake. She said they're both terrified. Man, that hurt my feelings, man. I'll say this again. Fellas, if you're going to prison, if you're watching this in prison, and you're any type of man, and you got anything between your legs, you don't tell your mom you're terrified, bro. You don't call your wife, Mario, preacher man, salute. You don't do that kind of stuff. These men have their families out here terrified, but their families didn't commit the crime. Their families didn't have to, their families didn't do none of this. And it's like their family, I don't know, man. So anyway, it's terrible. I don't even really hardly want to get in that. Y'all got to pick them things up, man, and get a little bit tougher because they mean that when they say if you do the crime, you do the time, right? Imagine being in there calling your mama saying, "Mom, I'm terrified. I'm scared." It ain't a damn thing your mom can do but cry, bite her fingernails. You know what I mean, man? You're a loser for that. My mom personally, if I would have called and told her I was scared at any time, she probably would have told me, "Well, what did you think it was gonna be like?" Like she wouldn't have been, she wouldn't have been sympathetic at all, because my mom always told us, "Hey, you go to prison, don't expect no visits, money, or nothing. See you when you get home." And I understand. And yeah, I am live right now. Facebook to my profile, Facebook to Texas Prison Stories, Facebook to the Texas Prison Stories group, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and IG. So I'm just testing out seeing how it goes. For some reason, I can only see the comments from Facebook, though, from my personal one. But I don't know. Any of y'all got anything you want to say, baby boy? What's up, man? I just did some karate today. Got my little daughter in Taekwondo. I'm gonna see if there's, people are funny about excuse me, it's hot in here, man. People are funny about putting their kids online, and I totally understand that. But I'm gonna see if the karate teacher one day will let me go down there maybe 15, 20 minutes early, and I'm gonna shoot just a little video of Ella Rose doing her karate, and I'm gonna play that one day for real. But yeah, I'm gonna tap up out of here, man. It's not really late, 8 o'clock, but this old single daddy gets up at 5, y'all, and I gotta work tomorrow. So I just wanted to touch in with that, baby boy. Salute, man. All my regulars, A-Dog, everybody, man. JoJo, salute, man. Alvin Seaside, 1500. I just want to thank everybody. Y'all hit the thumbs up button, man, and drop a comment and let me know what y'all think. We'll catch you later. Texas Prison Story family, salute.